And we're on.
Yes, sir, you did say that, sorry. Yeah, that's good.
Boy, it got quiet, that sucks.
Yeah, we got burn on that.
I'm waiting for the 7 o'clock thing.
Ding.
It's 7 o'clock. We will open the meeting, and we will start with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
DeSessa,
Here.
McCanny,
Here.
Perkins,
Here?
Cuxey,
Here.
Turpinning,
Here.
Murphy,
Here.
Cullis.
Here. Approval of the agenda. Chair would entertain a motion.
Minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped. Sorry.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Turpinning, second by Murphy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, approval of minutes. Mr. Murphy.
Well, I had nothing on it, so my bad. Go ahead. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
There we go. Murphy's on this mentorship program.
I jumped ahead. My bad.
Is there support?
You had it by Perkins.
What?
Perkins second.
Oh. Mr. Perkins?
Yes,
Are
indeed.
there any additions or deletions? None appearing. Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our statement of purpose. Mr. Murphy, would you do the honors and read that, please?
I knew that was coming. The mission of the Holly Historic District Commission is to safeguard the heritage of the village of Holly by preserving the historic districts in the village that reflect elements of the village's history, architecture, archaeology, engineering, or culture. The goal of the Commission's work is to stabilize and improve property values in the historic districts and the surrounding areas, foster civic beauty, strengthen the local economy, and promote the use of the historic districts for the education, pleasure, and welfare of the citizens of Holly.
Thank you, sir.
No.
We don't have any presentations this evening. We don't have anybody with us here at the meeting, so we can go past public comment.
At least not visible.
We will go to old business, and we have been working on the guidelines for the historic district. Mr. McCanny and I sat down the other night and went over the draft that you received in your packet. We have some notes to add to it. It is a combination of the plans that we had started with out of Idaho, and it marriages them with the ones from Linden. We've kind of used that as our basis to get started. Then you'll see some of our own entries here. We did discuss that we're going to move the statement of purpose to the front page between where it says Village of Holly Historic District and the map. So that'll kind of keep it separate right up front. So if you look in your draft, you can kind of draw a line through that, because that'll move over to there. And then what will happen there is it will allow the Secretary of the Interior Standards to move up. But did we discuss putting the introduction at the bottom of this, or did we talk about a separate page for that?
The table of contents is going to be on its own page. We
That
might be able to
sounds-
sneak in a picture or two to
Yeah.
dress it up, but that's its own little function. And then positioning of it and the way it looks is going to be dictated a lot by how the software moves things around. But we're mainly looking at the content itself. everywhere where there's a wrong city name, we're going to replace that, of course. I know there was some concern about the length of it, so we need to talk about that a little bit. And if there's any other sections, I know there's 3 sections at the end that we need to add.
Yeah, if you go to the very back page, Mr. Watson and Megan, that section is pretty much yours.
Oh, okay.
And then here, you can take one of these and pass it down. That's Van Wagner's. I talked to Gene Van Wagner. He does a lot of Facebook posts about Holly, and he has a very good way of words.
Yes, it does.
So either the first introduction part is copied from the Brown Holly book, which I took a section out of there that I thought was interesting. We can either splice it, add some of this to it, or replace it completely. It's up to you what you want to do. But he has a really good way. I talked to him. He's more than happy to help.
He's very good at writing. Sure.
Yeah. So it depends on the flavor that we want to have in the introduction. This is actually probably our first communication to anybody in the district, so we may want it to be with that focus.
Someone that actually has a stake in it.
Yeah, and have it more warm and inviting, or welcome to the clinic, or, welcome.
Well, I move that we splice it because I think, I like them both.
Oh, all right.
So marry it.
Yes.
You're getting a personal perspective or like that personal
Right.
perspective, and then you get this
And then you have the history.
historical
Yeah.
If we
depiction.
give both of these back to Gene, and does everybody agree we would let him do that?
Yeah, merge the
I,
two,
yeah,
I
Merge
don't,
the two?
for sure.
because they're both well-written, and one's, hard line, and the other one's warm and comforting.
right.
Okay, so, well, one other thing, just a small note. You notice in the table of contents, it has pages. We're gonna add page numbers.
That was
the
gonna be my
document.
comment because my all the papers fell out of my printer and it's all messed up and I don't know which pages are.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have added them on the bottom.
So we are gonna do that. I did wanna take you back, for those of you that still have yours in order.
Not me.
1, 2,
What's it say on top? I could find it.
4, 5 pages. It's the one to the 6th page. It says guidelines for existing and non-residential buildings.
Oh, right. Right.
So I made some notes. If you see the darker print kind of in the middle of the page on both columns, it refers to drawings, it refers to residential building. Obviously, it's a bad address. We would modify that to match Holly. Our thought was that we would take a picture off of Saginaw Street to put in there to make it our own. We also thought where it says the drawings show the storefront, we thought that the most recent drawings that were used for the coffee shop, and of course, we would have to get Linda Stauffer's permission, but we thought that might be a good insert in there to give people kind of an idea of what we do. If you then go beyond that page,
I'm cheating off you.
Oh,
Pages.
that's cool.
the next page over on the bottom right column, it says display windows.
Yeah.
We thought we would take a picture from downtown. Then on the next page, there's one
Oh,
for
yeah.
transom windows. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't know what those are, but we have some good examples in Holly, and we can
I'm looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
add a photo.
Both of mine.
Right below that,
Big picture.
without reading it, does everybody know what a bulkhead is on the front of a building?
A contractor, I don't know.
So our thought was we would add a small picture there, just to help people. Not to mention it breaks it up so that it doesn't appear to be so much reading all the time. But the bigger issue is a picture tells a story.
Pictures like make people like we talked about that. They
Yeah.
make you read what's underneath it.
So those are the two areas that when Mike and I went over this now,
This was well done.
if anybody has anything above that,
Well, back to the guidelines for non-residential buildings, it's still, I highlighted that it still says Linden's
he said we're gonna change those.
Yeah,
we'll
right.
get to those.
I have a question. I'm gonna go back to the introduction by, Mr. Van Wagner.
Uh-huh.
So if you have your table of contents, you're gonna add pages, you're adding pictures, so it's not like you have to keep it just how many pages, correct?
Right.
Does it make sense before the intro, just to do like in quotes and just put, you know, by Gene Van Wagner, and then wasn't he a resident for so many years in Holly? How many years did he live here?
Forever,
Yeah, he grew up here.
Forever.
forever.
So, I mean, longtime resident, you know, like something about his background, rather than intertwining it with this really well-written
Okay.
historical
Right, right.
depiction of Holly. That way it's just a personal, like,
Good
however
call.
we want to word that.
Oh, like an insert from him.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's because
Yeah.
they're vastly different in terms
Letter
of
from the
like,
past.
Yeah, I don't think
Right.
they need to be
And-
interwoven, just,
Both,
he's
use them
talking about
both.
like stuff
Yeah,
that
use
happens
them
now,
both.
They're a completely different purpose.
car shows.
That's why we're here, that's why we're doing this.
Absolutely,
Sweet.
That's why it's important that everybody shows up, so we're all part of this.
for sure.
Maybe use a picture of him if we have it.
that's a good idea.
Why not? Some
Okay.
sort of title or however we want that. It'd just be a nice touch. We have to fix those couple spelling
Okay.
errors in there, but we can fix those.
Personal historic perspective.
Ooh,
There we
Yeah,
go.
we're gonna, like
I
you
like
said, we're
that.
gonna go through this and change numbers and dates and addresses where they need to be changed. Mike kinda blew through this on
No, no,
Friday night,
it's-
Saturday or Saturday night? Friday night. Then he and I got together.
Several hours, yeah.
The
On
structure
Friday
and
night
everything
and
is
Saturday
perfect.
morning.
Yeah.
Well, then we
Yeah,
went
that's
through it
really
on
good.
Saturday, so we kinda had an idea.
it's not overwhelming.
Nope.
So you like
Um,
that better, okay?
If
So-
you go then to the next page, I can show it to you. There's dark writing toward the lower third of the page, right here.
Getting there, getting there, getting there.
It says, one size says this pediment,
Right. Oh, okay.
so we thought we would, if everybody agrees where it says the pediment, we would do that house on College Street where they put the new roof. It's right across from the venue. They put a new porch on the Greek Revival. And,
The one on the corner?
no, right across from the doors going into the venue.
Oh, okay.
Ron
Gotcha.
Campbell worked with them and did the design for that house. It's just a good example.
Yeah. And right next to it, we can use St. Rita's for the, although, yeah, we can use St. Rita's right next to it.
Yeah, for the masonry.
I don't know why the page is. What's at the top of the page?
This is a-
Maybe it would be best
It's
if
the
we just
back
numbered the
side.
pages
We-
right
That's-
now.
That's what, yeah.
Thank you, I didn't want to be,
And then, but we gotta remember the first page starts with 3 according to the table of contents, the way you have it labeled, so really, if you go, your first page with the introduction is gonna be page 3 according to the table of contents. And then if you just put them in chronological order from there,
Jeremy
it'd
and
be a lot
I,
easier for us all to follow along.
Jeremy and
I
I
have
were
some
talking about that
suggestions
before
as
the
well.
meeting.
I'm like, I was gonna
do
say
it.
it, but I didn't want to.
Mine are a mess. I can't
Well,
even
thank
number
you.
them. So
I'm having a hard time, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mentioned it too, and Mr. Mike, he's much better than I. He said it won't be a problem.
no, it's totally messed up.
I'm like, look.
Well, but he doesn't know you
shoulder.
like I do.
Ah, funny guy. You still allowed to be that way in a meeting? Really?
Yeah.
Now I found it.
Got it?
Okay,
It's page 14.
perfect, thank you so much.
So since we're talking about all these photos that you want to add,
Yes.
I think it would be beneficial. They don't have to be giant pictures, but you know, there's a lot of people that don't know what a transom window is. Can we just put some more pictures of?
That's what I,
You
Yep.
just said,
You said you were gonna put a picture of all of those. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I missed it.
Yeah,
that's
we're-
okay.
I was just trying to find the page when you were talking
Because
about
No, that's what we were talking about, was a picture helps.
of every. But I didn't
Like
know
a
if you were gonna
bulkhead.
do that with all of
on
that.
everything. Yeah,
Oh,
because they're-
beautiful.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed it. I
No,
apologize.
Most people don't know what a bulkhead is.
They
A
don't.
picture would make it a whole lot easier to
Okay,
understand.
I didn't know. I thought you were just talking about certain things, adding pictures if you had it, but I feel like
There's-
all pictures.
There's a lot of things that people don't realize what they are. I mean,
Right.
it's just pictures of anything.
I apologize, I missed that. Sorry,
It's okay.
I was hunting.
I can't even
So,
find the page. So
Really wouldn't matter.
That's where I was at. I was like, where?
Well, the table of contents will keep getting recreated as.
Oh, yeah, no.
Sure,
there's-
sure.
But I think we're closer than I think. That's my-
You think so? Yeah.
I really do.
I was concerned with the guidelines for existing and no, not that one. The second, like on page 9 and 8, where it goes through repair, replace, design for missing historic features, alterations, and additions to historic buildings. That gets kind of wordy, but it's a very good snippet from Secretary of Interior's website. And I thought it gave a nice level set to a homeowner is like, okay, this is what you're trying to do.
Which page number? I'm sorry.
Try, if you see the Hadley Museum picture,
Is it towards the back or the front?
about page 8.
I numbered them.
Page 8's the old theater.
Page 8's the old theater.
Okay,
Page
well,
7.
the next page.
Seven, previous page, 7.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
The other side of
Well,
it,
if linked is a consideration, Mike, I mean, we could link to that stuff. I mean, I like it how it is.
Okay.
But if you're concerned with link, that's an alternative.
Well, I just wanted to see what everybody kind of felt about it.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Okay.
I think it's good too.
Okay.
I was really impressed with
Yeah,
it.
I read the whole thing. I mean, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have my paint job in here. That's nice.
I just,
Yeah, we need a couple more examples for that too. Get them a couple other paints.
Like the Hadley House. you know.
Make sure
Did you painted that?
Yeah.
Good.
Make sure
But
your
I'm
name,
saying-
name
But I
and
also
read
would-
Jim, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the page that actually talks about paint palettes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have all the
No, no, no.
original antique.
We're asking you to look.
Look at that page.
It's right here.
Yeah, about 22, page 21 or 22.
Way back.
I gave them some examples of actual historic paint palettes and where to find them, and then some ideas on
Bottom
actual
of
paints to
21.
use. We need to get a couple different brands of paints that are really nice for these.
Wallspar. So just paint manufacturing there, there's Wallspar.
Do they have a historic palette?
Yep.
Oh, they do.
Valspar? Okay.
Wallspar is the oldest continuous paint manufacturer in America, 1802.
So I put in PPG, Benjamin Moore,
I've got the
and
PPG
Sherwin
palette, too.
Williams.
well, then do
Sherwin
Just,
Williams
uh,
has one. Valspar.
that company. And,
Are you reading the list?
Yep.
No, he was just reading it to me. I told you my stuff on I can't even find a page now.
Mike, I love how you
Yeah,
added
number 'em.
PPG permanizer.
No, when they came out of my
Yeah.
printer, they all fell apart, and now they're just
It
a
cats me
mess.
out. It's the-
I read it when it was a
They paint
PDF,
the whole
not.
paint.
Yes. There's a couple other ones too. There's a 100-year-old paint made with linseed oil. I forgot the name. I got to go find it again.
McMasters.
Well, all
It's
oil-based
some
paints,
other-
linseed oil.
No,
It used to be.
used to be.
Pass that down.
This is an old paint.
Yeah, they don't do the, they phase that out.
Don't drop it.
And then they got rid of lead-based paint in 80, 79.
I didn't
My
drop
God,
it.
was that good product.
I know. Well, lead lasts forever, and it's nice and white.
Yes.
I always liked it on my Sunday because it's sweet.
Okay,
Yes,
I have a few comments, questions.
sure.
go.
Okay, so we're just gonna start right away here, because.
Page number.
Yep, I have a couple of them. Let's start on page 8, and that's the picture of the theater. New construction, guidelines for new construction.
Yes.
If we read that last sentence in the first column, it says additions should follow the rule of being as unobtrusive as possible. And then it goes into something says altered to create a new
Oh.
profile. It doesn't flow
Oh,
there. I think
it's
we're missing
missing a.
something.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Missing a
if we
word.
continue on. Have you
Stop,
seen- I'm
stop.
sorry.
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Mike's got to be on it. He's the guy changing it, so.
Let me know when you're ready.
This looks like it should
it's
be something in
missing
front of
the-
there.
It's missing the beginning of its sentence.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to continue on to the next page, number 9, where it says height. First column, quarter of the way down.
Yep.
We have max heights already established here in the Village of Holly. I'm not sure if we want to include that in that section or not, but we're only allowed to build so high without a variance.
probably include it.
And I can get you that information, Mr. McCanny, if you need it.
Yes.
Then same page, moving down, second column, almost to the bottom. A garage should also have the same type of materials in it as the construction of the house.
Where?
Same page as the page with the
I
height
know,
on
but
it.
where?
Second column.
Second column, almost all the way to the end,
Yep.
where it says, last sentence in the paragraph, a garage should also have the same type of materials in it as construction as the house.
Oh, yeah.
Of the house. But
Is that detached? I'm assuming if it's not, if it's detached, then you're gonna request, but two parts to that. One is, as far as I've been on this board, we have never done a review of an accessory structure or detached structure with it aligning with the interior standards. It's always been just the primary exterior
right,
residence.
I thought secondary buildings were supposed to be. Wait, they weren't
But if
supposed to
we-
look the same.
If we continue to go through this document, it's noted again, where it says that accessory structures and detached structures are required to follow the guidelines. So I think that's a decision that the board's gonna need to make moving forward. Are we gonna require accessory structures, detached garages to follow the same as the guidelines of the interior standards, or are we not? That's, because our document's gonna conflict one way or
Well,
another.
it depends if the secondary structure is actually part of the set. My garage is actually as old as my house, and it was built purposely to house their car.
Materials.
So it's been there for as long as the house. That should be included in the historical format of the house.
So then we would say maybe case-by-case review to
Yeah,
determine if.
probably.
George, this is
Yeah.
also-
I think we should
Should
emphasize
add that.
that.
This is same age as your house.
Yep.
Yeah, and his,
Well, mine's not even a garage, it was a carriage house.
Carriage
Right, so is mine.
But it's still in
Yeah.
a detached accessory structure according
Correct.
to definition.
yeah.
Yep.
Good
So I
point.
think we should emphasize a little bit of that.
Case by case.
Case,
Also,
right at the end of
Mike,
that.
if you go up above the paragraph where he was, up where it says relationship of materials,
Mm-hmm.
then it says new construction must take into consideration the existing. There's two spaces there that don't belong there.
Yeah, okay.
See it there?
Yep.
If I could continue.
Yeah, I just was catching up because it was right where you were.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Page 10.
Nothing on page 10, but 11, the next page, we do have setback standards as well. The page 11 top, very first paragraph, it talks about the rhythm of the block and neighborhood. The setback new construction shall be within 10% of the setback lines of the adjacent structure. I think we should omit that because we do have, it goes by road frontage. If we have more than 80 feet of road frontage, you have to be 9 feet from the property line. If you have less than 80 feet of road frontage, you have to be 5 foot from the property line. It has nothing to really do with 10%, so I think
Okay,
that should
so,
be,
so we need details.
and I can get that as well
So replace that section with our, okay.
with
Yeah,
our
perfect.
ordinance.
Next.
Page 15, just a suggestion, it talks about repointing damaged mortar joints. And we talk about type 9 mortar for many repairs. I think that is very pertinent.
Which side are you on?
First column, second paragraph, or second section, halfway down, type 9 mortar.
Are
Right where,
you, wait a minute, you're on page 15?
according to my labeling.
Is that the page that says roofs, awnings, and canopies?
No, sir,
One
it has
before
wood
that.
on it, and then it talks about a place on 208 North Burridge Street.
Well,
it's
that's-
16, I've got 16.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
The paragraph starts with repointing damaged mortar joints.
No.
Right here.
Okay. Oh,
If you go down, it talks about the Michigan State Historic Preservation Office recommends type 9 mortar. Those of you that do have historic homes, they know that if you do not use this when you tuck point, your house will not breathe and your foundation will crumble.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
I think that we should highlight that. That is a very pertinent fact that some New homeowners that buy a historic home will not know. They'll go and buy a bag of Quikrete and start filling in the gaps. And
Is it possible for something like that to have a red line?
Yes.
And
We can make it its own
page.
section to give it its own title.
Oh, here it is. It's page 14.
I'm sorry. I'll
It's
try.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, that's what I've got is 14.
I got
Page
16.
14, second paragraph down.
Okay.
I didn't want to argue with Jeremy, he'll write me up.
No.
I'm not trying to argue. Page 16,
I have 16.
we're talking about materials and wood siding.
Yeah.
Right at the wood siding halfway through, it talks about a 6-inch bevel siding with 441.
4.5 inch.
If we could just make that a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
It's just missing a space.
Yep. I have just a couple more. I
Okay.
apologize.
No,
Only a couple, we need
no,
more.
this is what we want.
So this will be page 17, 18, 19. And it should be, it's second column, it talks about awnings. We've already have that section after roofs,
On page,
which is
That was 16, I think. No, that was siding.
15, awnings and canopies.
Yep.
oh yeah.
Maybe a little redundant, but I'll have you look at that and make that determination.
We just cross it. We got it twice. Yeah, that's the same.
See what he's looking at?
Which one do you want to get rid of?
What's
Or
this,
maybe put them together so they flow together, I don't know.
what's this actual section? It's roofs.
This is
Actually,
a
it's-
longer, page 15 has a longer, more information.
Yeah, the one on 15 is really short.
The one on 15?
No, it goes all, it's 2 columns.
On 15?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
it's
just
19
roofs.
is the
It's just
short
right
one.
here.
But actually, if you read them,
Oh, you're
They're-
saying with the awnings and canopies, with everything, yeah.
yeah, but if you read them, they're different.
Mm-hmm.
So just bring them together?
Well,
and-
the
Just
first,
put
the
'em
first
together.
one appears to be dealing more with commercial buildings. And they make reference to the sidewalk being close,
Mm.
where, yeah, these are, the canopies, awnings and canopies is more about commercial, where the awnings under shutters, it seems
It's
to be
yeah,
more residential.
it's underneath the openings section, so it's talking about openings on the next page, or the previous page. Doors, windows, shutters, awnings. So it's falling underneath
Well, yeah,
windows.
The one on 19 also says, please refer to the awning text under guidelines for non-residential buildings.
Yeah,
So,
so even though they're both awnings, I think they're two separate.
yeah.
Perfect.
I think one's commercial, one's residential.
Continue to
identify
But
one.
can I just intervene really quick? Only
Please.
because it doesn't break to say, or maybe I'm missing it.
commercial and non, and residential.
Right.
I think that's what my confusion was too,
Mm. We could put residential underneath there.
or commercial, vice versa.
Yeah. Awnings for commercial, awnings for residential.
Put them both, right, the residential
Both are different.
Yeah.
and commercial on the first one.
Yeah.
I have a couple more if you're ready. Page 20, guidelines for site details, new construction, existing residential and non-residential fences.
What page?
20.
20.
According to me, I could be off though.
It's
No.
20.
No, it's
It's
20.
20.
We have, once again, fence regulations. We've had a couple come to this board. Fences are not allowed in the front yard unless they're only 36 feet, or 3 foot in height, and decorative in nature. Decorative in nature is a opinion, right? We have certain wrought iron,
Right.
certain criteria, split rail fence. So I think we should maybe incorporate our ordinance for that. Continuing on page 21, talking about secondary structures, this is where I brought up the point earlier. If you go down under secondary structures, the second paragraph, halfway through that, you'll see guidelines that apply to primary structures also apply to detached structures. So we need to make that determination, because it says it twice in this packet, whether or not we're gonna make a case by case, or what you guys wanna do with that. Because right now, I was told that we do not do accessory structure reviews, so I'm open to either way. I just wanna make sure that I'm
Why were
telling.
you, wait a minute, why were you told we don't do accessory structure cases?
You know, George, I believe it was you that told me, and I don't remember the exact
No,
house.
because I brought my accessory to the board.
Well, the last one that I brought to you, we didn't bring it, and maybe it was because it wasn't contributing at that time. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back to my notes. It was
Was
a
that
couple
one,
years ago.
was that the one behind Artist's house?
Can you give me an address? Or
2 doors down from me. On
It
Main.
may have been.
Yeah, because that was a new modern garage.
Okay, maybe
I
then
think
I
the
wasn't
difference
clear.
is if the building, like in the case of your house, the case of mine, those are part of the original house. They're the old carriage house. You take Artist's house, that garage was built in 1970.
That's
I mean, it's just.
So then let's just change it to case by case on review,
Case by
case.
so that
Yeah.
it just makes it clear, because
That-
if I read that, the guidelines that apply to primary structures also apply to detached. If I read that as a homeowner,
You're thinking it's.
I'm thinking it's automatic, so we should have that administrative review, and then that can go in front of you if it's determined by administration that it does qualify under the interior standards.
My understanding was if you build a new structure, it didn't count. It didn't have to come before.
Well, and that's what I
It's a
think
certain
he's
time
referring to
frame.
when
Yeah.
he said he
Well,
asked
yeah.
me.
What's considered new, 1970 and beyond, or
Right. Isn't it
prior
50,
to? I
50
mean,
years?
Well, we're
Yeah.
getting,
1980 now,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's 50 years is
50 years.
Okay.
historically
Well, wait a minute,
significant-ish.
so there's kind of an
Yeah,
essay answer to your question, unfortunately, not as specific. If it is architecturally in tune with the home, then that's considered part of the historic district. If, in the case of Artis, which has that Victorian house with the stone front, and then she has a garage in the back that came out of a catalog in Home Depot today, that's a definite difference. It just has nothing to do with the house. If you turn around to my house that has the carriage house, Kari's house. Now, Kari's house has a carriage house that later got turned into a garage because of the bump out in the front. But that's still more of a historic building than, say, just the kit garage that's sitting in Hardis yard.
Okay, I just wanted some clarity on that. If we
Case by
continue,
case covers it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Best, you know.
No, I think you're right.
And then just a spelling, if we continue down, painting and color choice. The Hill Holly Historic District does not regulate exterior paint colors at this timer.
These are just recommendations.
It's just a spelling error.
Yes.
What?
No, it's spelling error.
Spelling error.
Oh, I thought he was complaining about it being there.
No, on page
I was
22,
getting paid by the characters.
page 22, you have in there, we hope the very last paragraph on page 22, we hope these suggestions have given you a better idea what preservation means for the historic district. It's just kind of a closing statement. I wondered if, and then we go right into energy. I wondered if maybe we should just move that right to the end, period,
Yeah.
Good idea.
I agree with that, for sure.
rather than going into solar.
Right.
Well, to be honest with you, I think that was the end. And then we felt that solar was important, so we added it.
And then just a couple more.
You've done very well at grading the homework.
These,
That's what we wanted everybody to do.
the very last page, you did leave a few blanks. Projects needing approval. If you could give me a little bit more runway with that, I just need some clarity. I don't know what you want from me on that.
You mean over here?
On the very last page of the packet, you
Yeah.
had those 4 blanks, and you said that those are for administration. Can you just emphasize what you would like from me on that?
Well, I think the difference, the projects need, the public needs to understand, and to be honest with you, whether we need it written that way, I think if somebody's just swapping out an existing sign, like downtown, that's an administrative approval. Projects that need approval would be any new design, you know, if you're just replacing the cornice board with a new board, that doesn't require a pre,
So,
if it's a
and I agree with you on that.
if it's replace and repair,
So that's another one of these essays, right? We're trying to consolidate into a
Yeah.
short thing. How can we say that, I mean, because ultimately, in real life, they come to me, I look at it, and then I come to you, right? And then I say, George, do you think this needs to come in front of the HDC? And then we make the agreement, yes or no. So,
perhaps what would be better is if we were to put together, as you said, an essay, a paragraph that responds on, here's the process. If you're thinking of doing any remodeling or repair to your house, bring it to us, talk about the project, we will let you know. Some things can be handled by an administrative approval, some things need to go before the board, and that goes on a case-by-case basis. Because everybody interprets things differently.
so projects needing approval and process for approval of projects are kind of the same thing. And just give you a summary, we do have in the HDC handbook, things that are administrative. So I'll go ahead and list those there. And then examples of successful recovery of architectural significance, is that, what do you need from me on that?
That's for us.
Okay.
Oh,
perfect.
okay, yes, that is
That's,
good.
I just want
that's
to
the
make sure.
houses that we peeled off, we found stuff, we wanted to
Like
show
what
the
happened with the
befores and
McCann house.
afters.
They were
Okay.
originally planning to cover the whole thing until they unearthed some of the treasures that now exist.
But also in this, we should give examples like windows. If you're replacing your windows, you need approval.
Yes,
You know, and
Windows is number one.
because those things that you instantly know, boom, you need to get approval. We should have a list of those, and then everything else we can do on a
Window, siding, roof,
and doors,
Yep.
right?
you know, one would think there's not much to, if a guy's putting a new roof on it, what's the big deal? Well, except the house on College Street that had the architectural design in the roof. That's important that we don't lose that.
Yeah.
Under the examples of successful recovery, we can actually add some pictures to that and talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I have just one more. Can I get a copy of that handout you had today for our file?
What
Yes.
handout?
Whatever one.
The
went
Gene
around.
Wagner?
Is there an extra copy I can get? Or,
Here.
Thank you, sir. Everybody have record of it? Thank you so much. I made a mistake. I have one more. Suggestion of maybe a definitions page.
That would be
That
good.
would, to go with your bulkheads, your transit
Good one.
windows. Maybe it's just a page that just shows that and maybe a picture.
That's,
So that if they do have, they're reading through this document, some of those bigger terms, have a definitions page with maybe photo illustration to match.
Call the glossary.
Sure.
Same thing.
But do you think we need, if we're gonna put the picture in the body of the book?
Maybe not in the body, maybe just a definition and explain what it
Okay,
is.
but I was gonna say, because otherwise, if you have a definition page with pictures also, now you're doubling up the pictures.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Interior Standards does have a definition page, I thought.
Okay.
Maybe we could just,
Put that.
Copy that in there,
Duplicate it.
right?
Right.
and I am done, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
We've been, and just so the board knows, and for anybody that happens to watch these meetings, we've been pushing steady on this. The goal is to get it done. We want to have it done and be able to present it at the historic conference in May. So we've been trying to hammer this thing.
Sure.
Because Jeremy called and said we had nothing for the agenda. Do you want a meeting? And I was like, yep, we need to have another
Hammer it out.
go around at it.
It's really close, isn't it?
Well, then we'll have the April meeting and we'll have,
Well, I have it done.
Final edits.
Finalize it then?
Thank you.
well,
Thank you,
yeah,
sir.
because we have to then send it to the council for
Oh,
approval.
Which we will. It'll be consent agenda.
Huh?
I said which we will. It'll be consent agenda.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I think what we'll do, if everybody has an email, am I correct?
Mhm.
Everybody's computer savvy, okay. When we get, well, that's a question I have to ask because there are some people that still don't use computers.
There are some people I have on boards that do not have email.
Yeah, that's why I have to ask that question. But this
Super
board's-
smart.
This
Super
board's
smart.
all there. So My thought was, when we get this next draft completed, for time's sake, we will send it to everybody. Please do like Jeremy did, go page by page, send back any, oops, typo here, typo there,
Yeah,
word got left out,
it would be pretty smooth.
so that when we come back the
On this
next
ref.
time, we don't have to do this again.
Should be
It'll be copy ready,
Which will be April.
Right.
yeah.
And
'Cause-
we'll need it for that. And council will be going ahead of us, so we're after council.
When's the conference, May what?
May 12th.
May 11th through 14th.
That, no, so we may have to call a special meeting to approve this because when's the council meeting in May?
May, it's the first Tuesday, or second Tuesday of May.
Second Tuesday,
I believe it's that week. Stand by.
I thought it was in June.
May 10th, yep, so,
Yeah.
it's that weekend, I mean, it's really the next day. The 11th is when it starts. That Wednesday is, kind of a isn't that
Yeah.
Or is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
It's Wednesday. Wednesday something happens on that.
So
one.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
Wednesday
need-
something happens.
So
It's
we're
like a
gonna need to
personal
get
day.
this approved in time to get it to the April.
So you almost need to have a meeting before the April council, which is April 12th. So maybe that Thursday, April 7th. If everybody's on board, we can move our April 14th meeting to April 7th to get it approved and in the packet for council for the 12th.
Mhm.
Does
If
it have to
everybody's
be
in agreement
Thursday?
here.
Oh, yeah.
That's a conflict for me. That's a conflict for me, but if we do this through the email, Mike can run that meeting.
That might be a conflict for me too.
Pardon?
That's a conflict for me too.
Yeah, but as long as we have a quorum to approve it.
Right. And if we've all done it ahead
Yeah.
of email.
Let me ask you this, does anybody have a problem with that meeting being at 6 o'clock?
Nope.
No,
I'd
it'd
much
be
rather have
better.
it be at 6.
I'm sorry?
I would love for it to be at 6.
Yes.
Yeah, I like earlier.
Okay, let's do that
No
at
doubt
6.
about it.
I start at 6.
Then, not for Tim, but at least for me, I can make this meeting and go to my next one.
6 on the 7th.
So we're going to go ahead and, we're all in agreement that we're going to
Yep.
change April's meeting of the 14th to the 7th from 7 PM to 6 PM.
Outstanding.
And then we're going to get an updated one again.
Yes.
And then, Mr. McKinney, if you could get it to me just a little bit sooner too, I can also.
Do you have my email address?
Well, we have to send it to everybody via email for the second.
Well, if you send it to me, then we can send it out
that's true,
administratively
yeah.
through the HTC
Yep,
emails.
and we'll give everybody,
Sure, sure.
we'll try to give everybody a weekend to review it and then get back.
And
Yeah.
if you could send it in a Word document, then maybe people.
It is in
We
Word.
can make our changes, highlight stuff.
If you feel comfortable with people on this
Yeah.
board editing it.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I know George brought it in on Monday. We made copies, got it out to you guys. But if you send it to me electronic, then I can send you that document that you send me right to everybody.
Yep,
All
it's
in
in Word.
agreement.
I cracked it and it's all,
Hey, I was just
the
trying to
only
help.
issue, the
I
only
appreciate
issue
it. You did
is
great.
I wasn't trying to step on toes.
working in the
toes. No, you're
two-column format in Word is a bit of a mind twister.
You have to do tables. Yeah, it sucks.
So
It's-
maybe you don't want to set it up for, to have everybody enable? Maybe you just want to add notes, because it could get messy quick for you.
It could get rather.
Well,
I
if we
mean,
just
it's
printed our
challenging.
printed our own out with notes, and then
But let's just kick the notes back and let Mike, because of that system.
We could do either, we can do it.
You can still send it out PDF.
There's not going to be that many changes at that point.
I
There
don't
shouldn't
believe so
be.
either.
No, we're close.
Yeah.
I agree.
So do we enjoy the cover picture? Do we want to
Yes.
change it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, cool. Well, that's
It's great.
awesome. Then we're gonna get some other pictures
I was actually going
to
to
fill in.
take photos to bring them tonight to show you the ideas, but this week has just been so crazy busy that I didn't get to it.
yeah.
Yes,
So we're just looking at the calendar, and if we can set a deadline for the review, April or March 24th is a Thursday, 2 weeks from tonight, and that would give us 2 weeks to review and make our comments back to Mike. I know that's pushing you, Mike, so I guess really that'd be your choice, or we can make it for the 31st, and that would give everybody a week.
I don't think everybody needs 2 weeks. I think
The
I think
31st.
1 week is plenty.
So that, if we can have it to me by the 31st, and we'll get it out to everybody that day.
Well,
31st this month?
The 31st of this month, that is 1 week.
Yeah.
hang
for
on,
April
today's the 10th. Is there any reason the changes we talked about tonight, can they be done by the
Well,
24th?
you gotta get your pictures and all that good stuff too.
Yeah,
that's
everything
2
but
weeks.
everything but the pictures. Yeah, we can do it.
Okay. So let's say we'll have it to you on the 24th to be sent out,
Okay?
then back by the 31st.
Our reviews by the 31st.
And then a final cut for the 7th meeting.
Right.
Yep. Does that work?
That works. And I will need that final cut, the 31st to be going out in the, or I'm sorry, yeah, the 31st of March.
Oh,
Because
then-
that's when packets will go out for the
Okay, then we
7th.
got it back up. We can't get the final corrections to him and expect him to have it to you on the same day.
I won't be back in town until the 2nd. I'm leaving on the 24th.
I won't be back until the 4th. I'll be gone that week too.
Okay, so if we have it to you by Monday, the 4th.
We can do Monday the 4th. I can work with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
And then just remember, everybody, you're getting a final copy that week, but it should be
and
clean
then
and
the meeting on the 7th will be short and sweet.
pretty much, yep.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
And that, folks, is how we get stuff done. We have nothing under new business. Commission and staff comments. I'll start with Mr. Murphy.
I just have one comment. It's about the getting GMAR to put us on for as a historic district. So when someone buys a house here, they know ahead of time. I talked to Grant Mead a couple times in the last week. He's talking with Real Comp and MI Real Source, trying to see what the next steps would be. He's kind of new there, so he's trying to check it out. And I asked him also if he would like to come to a meeting, one of our meetings, and he said, "Yeah, I would love to."
Even if we can get a phone conference
Yeah.
with somebody down there.
And I said that too, but until he gets his next steps from Real Comp and MI Real Source, there's nothing we can really talk
Can you
about.
keep pushing? Because I'd love
I
to
have.
have that.
That's what we need. We'd be the only ones that did it. So
That's why I'd
Yeah.
love to have that in
Yeah.
order.
I
You
know.
know, this May conference is really a big deal. I can't tell you how big this is. I've been working on this for 5 years. Ron Campbell's been hammering. The Village of Holly is the smallest community in the state of Michigan to ever host this conference. And I really want to make a splash. Because it's just great to be able to bring something like that to this community.
I was trying to say that to my staff because next year they're gonna host it at Mission Point Resort in Mackinac Island. That's a big deal, you know, Mackinac.
Yeah, and they've hosted it in Traverse City, they've hosted it in Kalamazoo,
Sure.
all the big cities. This is the
It's
first
amazing.
time for something like this. So it's
It's a big deal.
And, well, more on that later. But we do have the brochures out. And we can order more of those if we need them.
And you have some? you
Yep.
said. Okay,
I have some in my office too.
perfect.
All right,
that's
thank
all I
you.
got.
I have none, sir.
Mr. DeSessa?
Yeah, I'd just like to commend Mike and Mr. Cullis for their work on that, and Jeremy for his edits. This is looking very, very nice, very excellent and professional. It's going to be a great asset to the community.
And Mr. McCanny gets credit for all the groundwork.
Yeah,
Without
yeah.
him and the computer, we wouldn't be here. So, Mr. Mike, besides taking a bow,
Thank
would you
you.
like to make any
Thank you.
comments?
Glad to help. Glad to help. Thanks for all your input. And then we'll just get some more pictures, make the corrections, and move it forward.
Mr. Turpinning?
I do have a comment. I mean, it's great. I already said that 5,000 times, but for this event in May, is there a way that the historic district, we can get badges just with our name saying that we're with the Village of Holly Historic District Commission?
I can check to see, yep.
That, so they know, you know, we're not just wandering around like, who's that weird person that
Yeah.
looks like Santa?
With a beard.
Especially being the host.
Yeah,
In
the
fact,
goofball
Jeremy,
thing.
find
Yeah.
out if we can get a go-ahead for that. If we can get the go-ahead for that,
Go ahead for what, sir?
badges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I got
And
a
I'd
note,
even
yeah.
like to check and see if we can't get the logos, so we're host
What logo were you looking for?
from if we
The
can get-
brochure?
Yeah,
The Michigan Historic Preservation Network
yep,
logo?
I'll check with them and see if we can get them
Okay, 'cause
done.
that'd be
If we can
copyrighted.
use
I
it.
don't wanna,
Yeah,
What?
let's go with, if we can use it, yeah.
yeah, I don't wanna be copyrighted.
No, I said I'll get the permission for that.
Right.
You're getting the permission to do the badges. I'll get permission for the artwork.
Thank you.
Probably should be
No,
included.
great idea, Tim.
Yeah.
We should have stinking badges.
I don't need no stinking badges.
One of the things, were you done, Tim? I'm sorry. I didn't
Yeah,
interrupt you.
that's-
Yep.
One of the things that we were going to bring up with all of, all the businesses in town, she actually, let me pull up the email. She actually sent out the numbers of how it affects the communities when they visit for this conference. The economic impact is pretty huge.
Do we need to alert, I didn't mean to cut you off, but do we
Yeah.
need to alert the downtown businesses of this?
Well, that's
con?
what I really want to do, and even it's a big deal. Like Mr. Cola said, that they're coming to town. It's huge. I'm looking up the email here.
So they're not closed.
Maybe if you could share that, Ms. Kuski, with Nick Klemp.
Yes,
He-
absolutely.
He would definitely have no problem sharing that with the
He
downtown.
can put that out in
business.
the newsletter that gets sent out.
Mhm.
The other thing, while I'm looking this up, she also mentioned, Janet, who's really putting this conference together, she did mention just off the cuff when we had a meeting, the last meeting, about the CGL status. Should I not say anything about that? You
I
may
don't have
face-
any comment. So that's Mr. Walker. I don't have any,
She mentioned something, maybe I shouldn't put on record, I'll talk to you about it later.
okay?
She said that it was moving forward, that everything,
I have
from what
not
she
been in the
heard.
loop,
Okay.
so I don't have comment.
Okay, she commented and said it was, something was in the works, so, which is
Okay.
great. That'd be
Yes.
amazing.
Well, we have been working, that's the project Nicole's working on.
Yes,
But there's a couple of documents that we're holding it up.
fair
I'm
enough.
unaware.
Will you look into that for us?
I can, but we have to be aware that Mr. Walker is off until,
April.
yes, so I
Okay.
may not have that information by our next meeting.
Okay. So this is what Janet sent out, saying the MHPN conference has the ability to generate local spending based on a very, all in caps, conservative estimate of attendance of at least 200 people on both of the two main program days, Thursday and Friday. It does start on Wednesday. And assuming that half of that number is local enough to drive in each day and not use hotel rooms or eat dinners out, the direct impact is at least $85,100. This total is augmented by people who stay at other than the conference hotel, enjoy a nightcap downtown, or make it a host community weekend that includes shopping and sightseeing. Most convention and visitor bureaus use a 3-to-1 multiplier for conferences such that our $85,100 represents over $250,000 spent in the host community. While the MHPN annual conference is not large, this estimated impact is significant, especially when larger conferences perhaps cannot be accommodated. The Jackson Convention and Visitor Center helped us with this analysis. One other fact we like to cite is this. Small Business Saturday is a day dedicated to supporting small businesses and communities across the country. Founded by American Express in 2010, this day is celebrated each year on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Small Business Saturday benefits communities beyond just one day. According to the 2018 Small Business Saturday Consumer Insights Survey, 96% of consumers who reported shopping on Small Business Saturday said the day makes them want to shop small all year long, not just during the holiday season. I'm thinking maybe that references, they come and see it, makes them want to come back, spend more time, I'm assuming. But
Mhm.
that was what she sent out, which I thought was fantastic.
If you'd like to share that with Mr. Klemp, I will also brief him in the morning on this email,
Absolutely.
and we'll definitely get that out to the local businesses.
It was,
You know-
it was the plan.
If the local businesses could put together a coupon book to be handed to these people at the conference, to get them from here down to their stores, that could be advantageous if the DDA or the chamber helped to put that together.
She has vendor tables that are available. I don't know what the actual cost is for that, but it would be, so I don't know, do we know if the museum is going to have a table as a vendor?
Let me find out from Janet what those are, because I've been to the conference before, And they're typically vendor tables by companies that supply windows that companies supply.
It's a variety, she said.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, let me find out how many she has and what the
Okay.
availability is.
Because she mentioned, nonprofits and all kinds of people. So just a thought where we could, like you said, give the coupon books or whatever information to get
Yeah.
people downtown.
Okay,
That's all I have.
okay, and we will turn to Megan.
I'm going to be the new Lisa here. So nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you.
And you are our new deputy
Clerk treasurer.
clerk treasurer.
Yes.
Okay, and Jeremy, any more comments?
No, thank you.
Are you sure?
Okay,
Just kidding.
then we will look at adjournment at 7:54.